Okay, what we're going to do today is talk about story problems, application problems, word problems that rely on the use of trig. And so to do that, we're just going to dive right in. So the angle of depression from a buoy, to a buoy from the top of Barnegat Bay Lighthouse, which is 130 feet above the surface of the water, 6 degrees. Find the distance x from the base of the lighthouse to the buoy. On all these problems, you want to make a picture of what's going on so that you can have a sort of an idea of the triangle that you're going to use. So here's my crude lighthouse, and it's on the water, so we'll have some water here. And on the water is a buoy bobbing along. And so what we have is an angle of depression. So if you look at a view, if you take a view straight out from the lighthouse and you look then down towards the buoy, this guy right here, this is your angle of depression. Okay, we're looking down from the lighthouse, theta degrees. And in this case, our theta is 6 degrees. Okay? And what we want to do is work with the right triangle. So we're actually going to complete this triangle this way. And we know that the light, gee whiz, we know that the lighthouse is 130 feet above the surface of the water. So over here, this height is 130. And we know that this length right here is the part that's in question. So keeping in mind that you've got parallel lines right here, parallel lines. If this angle is 6, so is this angle. And so when you solve this guy out, what are you doing? Well, you're going to look at what trig function relates the two sides that we've got with the angle that we have. And the trig function that's going to work on this happens to be the tangent function. So we would say the tangent of 6 degrees is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. So how can you solve for x? You can either take the reciprocal or cross multiply, or whatever you want to do, but if you multiply both sides by x to get the x out of the denominator, you get x tangent 6 degrees equals 130, and then divide everything by tangent of 6. Let's use a different color. Divide everything by the tangent of 6 degrees. And since you're in degrees, make sure that your calculator is set to degree mode, or add the degree symbol. And what you're going to end up with is x equals 130 divided by tangent of 6 degrees, which in this case, when you punch it in, you should get 1,236.9 feet, because we're dealing with feet. So that's all there is to it. And when you work on these guys, always draw a picture. Always draw a picture. It will help so much. Alright, so from the top of a 100-foot building, a man observes a car moving toward the building. So draw a picture. We've got a building, and we've got a man from the top observing a car moving towards the building. So if the angle of depression of the car changes from 22 degrees to 46 degrees, so in other words, we'll just pretend he's laying down and he looks straight out and he's looking at the car. So here's our car. It's a great looking car. So he's looking at the car, and when he first sees it, it's at a 22 degree angle of depression. And then while he's watching the car moves. And after it moves without its wheels, the car moves, and now when he looks at the car, we've got a 46 degree angle of depression. So 46 for the whole thing, not the little, but the whole. And so what happens is we're going to have to do a little bit of math to figure out, how far the car moved. Well, create your triangles. And when you create your triangles, keep in mind a couple things. First off, this angle right here is 22 degrees. And this angle right here is 46 degrees. And the height of the building is 100 feet. So let's go for the first distance right here. And that first distance, if I don't know that distance, but I know the height of the building, which again, the height of the building is 100, then we can do the tangent. So the tangent of 46 degrees is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. And get your x all by itself. You can do that any way you want to, but you're going to end up with x equals 100 divided by the tangent of 46 degrees. And either have your calculator in degree mode or add the degree symbol after your calculator. But when you get done finding that d value, it should be, get my calculator here. So 100 divided by tangent 46 degrees is 96.569. 96.569 feet. That's the x part. And so if I want to know then how far the car moved, I need to figure out the whole distance. So I need to figure out this whole entire distance here, all the way across. We'll just call it y so that we have a little bit different thing. And what do I got? I've got the tangent, not of 46 now, but of 22, because that's my angle that I'm using, is equal to the opposite side, 100, over the adjacent side, which is y. And so now, get the y all by itself. And so now you're going to just punch in 100 divided by the tangent of 22 degrees. And that is equal to 247.509 feet. Okay. And then to figure out how far the car traveled, which is just this distance right here, to figure out just that distance, I need to take my big number, 247.509, minus my 96.596. And when I find that difference, It's going to be 150.9394 feet. And that's how far the car traveled while our guy was watching.